I didn't get paid not one time for Dots and Divas. I shot for like 4 years for them. Money don't move me, man. I love bringing people's ideas to life. I was like, fashion is gonna be my way out. And my mom was like, you think so? I was like, I know so. I meet Puff, and it's not nothing crazy. Like I met Daddy and it was cool. Whatever you're gonna do, put your 100% into it. If you don't put 100%, it's not gonna work. Everything that I had lined up, I had to stop everything. When you lose a parent, bro, it's like your world just crashed. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
When it comes to being consistent, our next guest comes to mind. From his humble beginnings, from Paterson, New Jersey, to billboards, magazines, Target, working with top brands like Calvin Klein, Netflix movies, HBO, and not only is his resume impressive, but he's also an entrepreneur, committed to the community, giving back to the community. Let's talk about it. Welcome, Miguel Perdomo.
What up, guys? What's going on? Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, appreciate you coming through, Miguel. You know, ever since we've met, you've always been a positive, solid brother, always strong, and you've always been doing the same thing. Yeah. And I think that is super dope because you definitely put your reps in 10,000 hours in the modeling industry. So when it comes to the modeling business, right, my daughter had this question. She wanted to know, what is it about modeling that kept you for so long? And I really want to get into like how you got into modeling and everything like that. But I definitely wanted to make sure I get her question out the way. Lanesia, my oldest.
Of course.
She wanted to know, man, like what is it about modeling that kept him for so long?
For me, it was just that I never seen nobody that looked like me. Like straight up.
You're Dominican, but you can be anything.
Yeah, and that, I'm ambiguous.
That's a typical Dominican.
Yeah, of course. Because we come from even if you're Dominican, you're still black. You know,
right,
it's just that a lot of people don't know that because they don't know their genealogy. They don't know none of that. They don't know their geography. They don't know where they're from.
As a matter of fact, not because you hold your thought.
Yeah.
Lewis just did his, and he showed it to me. He had like, what was that, Lewis?
All kinds of stuff, man.
But it was like the
25% Cameroon.
Yeah, he had a camera.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Like 70% Congo, like straight.
We all mixed, man.
Yeah,
like,
pardon me. Go ahead.
No, you good. We a mixed tribe, man. Yeah. So it's like when I tell Dominicans, it's like, you're black, right? They like, I am. I'm like, but I'm not. I'm like, dude. If you're Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Jamaican, Haitian, anybody from the Caribbean, your ass is black. I was like, just go do your research, and then and I'm like. I tell them this self-racism, you got to stop, man.
Yeah, DR.
You got to stop, man. No, I know, man. Trust me.
It's horrible, man.
They did some of my boys dirty. I'm like, what y'all doing? Like, nah, we don't do that. We don't do that. But of course, you got to give them a crash course on who they are, because again, they was taught that.
Right. Indeed. So you were saying about your distinct look.
Yeah, the only reason why I got into it like hardcore, because I'm like nobody looks like me. There's no ambiguous cast. Like sometimes I see dudes that look like me that we got the same complexion, and I end up I'm from Chinese or whatever country they from. I'm like, that's cool, but then like there's no Dominicans. I'm like, I gotta put something for us. I gotta do something for us. Now at the same token, it's like, all right, I'm coming from from Paterson, which everything is crazy as hell around me. I'm like, nah. Like, nah, there's no way I could do this and be a fashion model. I can't do both. Like, and again, everybody that was running around with us, there's, to stick-ups and all this other shit. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
You were around a lot of drug dealers.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't do this shit, man. This shit ain't for me.
Did you see modeling as a way out?
Yeah, that's pretty much like a basketball player that made it to the NBA. That's how I feel. The same. Bro. Yeah,
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. And I remember telling my brother when we was walking through Macy's, and I said, June, this is gonna be me next year. And he was like, yeah, all right. And then next year came, he was like, oh shit. I was like, I told you, bro, like this is not a game, man. I manifested it and I put it to the universe.
I remember the first time I walked into Target, and I'm walking and I look up and I was like, that's Miguel.
Yeah.
Like this huge billboard of you. I'm like, And so I remember I took a selfie in front of him.
Yeah. You sent us
Yo, you in Target. You was like, I know, I've been there for 3 years.
I was like, I was like, man, again, because it's like, you don't really walk into Target like that. That's usually,
Right.
no disrespect to Target. I love y'all, but it's just more
keep
women.
hiring my man.
So it's more women based there, like
Yeah.
that's like the man. Like when we go to Home Depot, that's women's. Target is, it's for the
Exactly. Yeah, man, and really, man. Like, I really admire that, seriously, like, because I met you in the hood, and I remember. Mm-hmm. So the first time I ever saw you on something was actually the Source magazine.
Yeah, it's funny. The first publication I did was Dons and Divas, and that's a jail-based magazine. So everybody in the county knew who I was. Everybody down in Bordertown, Jamesburg, all those jails, they all know me because of Dons and Divas. So when Cass was coming home, yo, I saw you in the magazine, you're in jail. I'm like, word? What magazine? Dons and Divas. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I did it so many times and I totally forgot. And I was working for free, mind you. I didn't get paid not one time for Dons and Divas. I shot for like 4 years for them. Never got paid.
Something. So I always like to highlight moments of like ding ding, like patterns or anything that resembles a formula to success. Mm-hmm. A lot of times in the beginning, there's a lot of free work.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. And it's funny because this new generation, they don't do that. They like, nah. Because they feel like, oh, no, I could make this X amount of money on TikTok. I'm like, that's cool. That's great. But it's like, to build a foundation, it's not always going to be on money, man. I was like, it's got to be on morals. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, one hand wash the other, Like, it's not necessarily, oh, you're going to pay me. And that's not always about money, man. I got relationships with people, bro, that it's not even worth no money. I could walk into any fashion building in New York and grab anything that I want. No problem. You keep that, Miguel. Go ahead. I was like, that's not built on money. That's built on mutual respect, love,
Which you definitely have. I've witnessed it just from being around in some of the same shared spaces and knowing some of the same people.
And I'm like, this dudes say, yo, if you need anything for your artist or whatever, yo, come grab some stuff. All right, cool. Not a problem.
You know what else I think too that I bear witness to, just being a street dude myself, is that we, and don't take this the wrong way, we sort of like wanted to protect you.
Yeah.
Like because you were a representation of hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't get into the BS, and I've always saw it as a sign of strength. Like, wow, like my man ain't falling into the like. You get what I'm saying? Like you chose and modeling. That's something that like I also want to ask you, like, why modeling? Why get into modeling? Like, why was that your choice? But you just chose a different path, man. And I think that those of us who knew you, and grew up and got to bear witness to your journey, we all admire that and respect that, bro. It takes a leader to not do the same things that we were all doing.
No, I mean, again, I just had the love from my older brothers, and my father, and also the OGs like that were around. They was like, look, Meg, this ain't for you. You know what I'm saying?
And that's love.
Yeah, exactly. And I love these dudes. I see them now to this day, and I'm like, yo, I appreciate, what you did for me as a kid, Like, you could have told me, yo, here's a brick.
He could have gave you a pack.
Yeah, here's a pack, go do your thing, But again, everybody kept me away from that. And every time that I tried, it was like God was like, nah, this ain't you, dog. So he kept moving me away. And then once I started traveling, I was like, I'm never coming back to the hood. I was like, because, you open your eyes up to different things. And, so I'm like, man, I'm like, I don't even want nothing to do with Jersey once I left. I was like, I'm good. I was like, I don't need to come back. But, of course, home base where your parents is at, I always have to come back.
Tell us about your upbringing and how you got to become the Dominican supermodel that you are. Let's get it.
I mean, I'm born and raised in Patterson, New Jersey. That's home. Grew up on Park Ave. Straight Street. Everybody know where Checkers is in Park Ave. That was my stomping ground.
That's the hood too.
The hood. And I'm grateful, man, because I grew up in I would say Bush. Bush was president at that time, and then Clinton came in. I grew up in the Clintonomics. If we could put a name to it. I grew up around that era, so I grew up around all entrepreneurs, even though a lot of them, were illegal. Doing illegal entrepreneurship, but it taught me like how to use that mind frame and bring it into the corporate world, which I love that aspect, and that's why I love speaking to other entrepreneurs because they give me gems. Of course I'm young, I'm still learning, I don't have all the. I wish I had all the answers. If I did, I would put my whole team on. I'll put everybody on. But again, as we build, they was teaching me so many gems of how to run a business. Even though their business was illegal, at least they gave me the structure of, this is how you do it. Whatever field that you're gonna get in, this is how you're gonna apply whatever I'm teaching you. Apply it to that. I was like, all right, cool. And then being on Park Ave, I see 1 million people passing by, and it's just, if you know the hood, the hustle is real. So it's like, it's hand in hand, and you get to speak to people, you negotiate at the same time, even though, again, guys there were selling DVDs, guys there were selling mixtapes, everything you could think of, they were selling on that block. So I was like, I learned a lot watching them.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So we're going to bounce around a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up, that you were around those type of entrepreneurs, so to speak. And I know that world very well.
Yeah.
How were you able to dodge the negativity, the just not getting into the mess, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, my older brothers, and my older cousins, they, because they from that world. So they were like, we understand that you like this and you like, that we're getting fast money, but this is not your avenue. This is not your future. And me, I've always been like, I would say, I see fashion. Like when I used to see all these guys coming in, Gucci'd out sweatsuits. I'm like, damn, I want to get that sweatsuit. But again, I didn't know that what they were doing to obtain it. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that. But I want to be, in that world where let me get my own thing, let me get that sweatsuit, but my own way. Not this way,
Right.
And my older brothers, they was always like, listen, if you get into this, we're never going to speak to you. Like, they were giving me the beat down every day. And I'm like, no, because I'm looking at the hustlers like, yo, nah, man, I want to be like these guys. And he was like, there's no end to that. Like, I mean, there's no end goal to this. Like, if you do this, there's only two ways. Like, it's either you're going to be dead or you're going to be in jail. It was like, so right now, make a decision which one you want to go to. He's like, you're not going to get away with it. It doesn't matter what it is.
It speaks to the power of positive masculinity,
Yes.
which is something that I feel is lacking in our community.
Oh, it's been lacking. I mean, OGs are supposed to, give you the gems to not get into that trap. Because at the end of the day, it's a trap.
Indeed.
But a lot of kids don't see that. They see the money, they see the little fame that you get for 5 minutes, but it's like, come on. Again, like my OGs told me, either you're gonna die or you're gonna be in jail. That's the only two options you have. There's no other option.
And salute to you, though, for having the insight and wisdom at a young age to follow their guidance. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people, like I was told that not by positive men, because, unfortunately, I didn't really have that. I was just primarily my mother and I, my mother from Dominican Republic, doing the best she can. Mm-hmm. But still in all, you still had the foresight to listen. So tell us about your just that part of having that foresight.
I mean, my dad was very present. Like he was always telling me, listen, you want something, you got to work for it. This is not no freebie. I'm going to show you. All right, you want Jordans, right? Because at the time, it wasn't like now that everybody, you go to the mall and they like $700. Back then, it was like $80. He said, you want some Jordans? All right, you going to work for it. So, he used to make me do chores around the house and things that I used to hate that now I love. I love cleaning my house. I love cleaning my space, taking all that negative energy out. But again, when I was at that age, I didn't know that. You telling a 10-year-old, no, you can't. You want Jordans, you got to work for it. I don't want to work. What is that? Like, I was 10 years old, like, why I have to work? He was like, this is life. He's like, you're a man at the end of the day. He's like, you don't know yet because you're still 10 years old, but when you get older, you're going to be the man of the house and you're going to have your own family. And, when they give you all these gems early, you like, what? I was so stuck. I was like, I don't know what to do. And I was telling my brother, yo, is this a real thing? And he was like, Miguel, fortunately for you, my man, you are a man. So when you get older, you'll see the hardships on us. This is why Dad is being so hard on you to teach you to have a structure.
Were you the youngest?
Yes, I'm the youngest. But but then again, my cousins got here in '95, which you met Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
They got here in '95, and then they became my little brothers. So I had to keep them away from everything I just dodged. You know, so it's like everything that I learned, I gotta now incorporate it to them and make sure they don't fall into that trap.
You know, that makes sense, especially you being the youngest, because even me as a parent, you know, when my daughter was born, I was in the mix of it.
Yeah,
Like, you know, like,
of course.
you know, like knee deep catching charges while she's, you know, young. And so now compared to my youngest now, me as a parent now, as a man, would like to say that I've evolved.
Of course.
I learned,
Of course.
you know, got some experience along the way. So being a better person makes me a better parent.
Of course.
So your pops, you know, also
Yeah.
probably brought that wisdom, and rest in power to your pops. I know he's no longer with us, and sorry for your loss.
Appreciate it.
And, you know, how was it being that your pops was such a strong influence in your life? How was it losing your pops in the midst of everything?
I mean, I was, of course, you know, as for spiritually, I was upset. I was like, all right, God, really? Like, my dad didn't do nothing bad, you know, to deserve this. But at the same time, he had cancer. He had multiple myeloma, so that's cancer in the blood. So it's like there's nothing you can do to cure it. There's nothing you can do to help it. Like once you get that, that's like the last cancer. If you get that cancer, like, you know, you're pretty much just living out your days. That's
Wow.
So it was a rough transition for me. But at the same time, I was content with the fact that he's not in pain anymore. But I was mad at God, like, why you taking my father? You know, like, but you know, as a man, I was so, you know, yeah.
That's all right, my brother. Yeah, take your time.
I miss my OG, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. So sorry for your loss, brother.
I could say that, you know, just in prepping for, you know, this interview and just reading about you and just doing my own research, I know that he's proud, you know.
No, for sure, man. But it's like,
conversation. I could tell
that shit pissed me off.
Yeah.
Shit pissed me off big time.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like back in 2009, I had lost my best friend too, and that killed me, bro. I was in a negative, like, was so mad, bro. I was mad at God, like, what the hell, you know? This is some bullshit, bro. But this is life, you know. And I never grieved because I just kept going. My dad passed, and I just kept going. You know, like my brother now, he feels it, my older brother, because he wasn't around as much as I am because he, you know, he has to work, whatever. And me, I got more of a schedule which is more free. But going to the doctors and, you know, all those treatments, that shit was breaking me down as a man, bro. I'm like, yo, I can't take this shit, man. Watching my dad decline in front of me is the worst thing ever, bro. Any man that sees a parent declining is the worst, bro. I'm telling you. That's why I tell people, be kind, man, because you don't know how long your parents going to be here, you know?
Realistically, you just, like, you shared how your father, you know, taught you to work hard, you know, but one thing that as men that we never learn is how to grieve. You know, we know to work hard, and when something impactful happens, oftentimes what we do is work harder to keep our mind off of it.
Of course.
You know, sometimes it comes crashing. So definitely got to take the time to reflect and grieve, you know.
So, my, you know, pardon me, but when I talk about my dad, man, it's always like, you know, touchy subject. Cause
No need to pardon, brother. I appreciate you being vulnerable and honest.
Yeah, because that shit, I mean, when you lose a parent, bro, it's like your world just crashed. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Right. Everything that I had lined up, I had to stop everything. And I didn't care. I was like, and at the same time, you got to think to yourself, I got to provide for my family. But it's like, I got to stop all this. This is how I make my bread and butter. I can't do any of that because now I got to attend to my dad. So, you know, it was a lot, bro. It was a lot. And my mom, I feel bad for her because, you know, she's alone now. So, you know, and I know there's a lot of parents in the world that's alone, and, you know, and I feel bad that, you know, when you get to a certain age, you got to be alone, you know, because your significant other passed away, you know, whatever the situation was. That sucks, man. To see an adult alone, you know, I call my mom every day, man. I'll be on her ass like a bill collector, straight up. Like, yeah, how you doing? You good? You know, everything okay? You need anything? No, I'm fine. You know, I got to stay on top of her because that's the only person I got left. You know, my dad's not here, so I got to be on her ass like all the time.
What would you say? I know your pops probably taught you many things. what was, if there's anything that stands out that he taught you, like the most valuable lesson, something that you hold dear to your heart, what would that be?
To be real with yourself, use accountability to yourself. He was like, he used to tell me all the time, like, listen, it's gonna be things in your life you're gonna question because you don't know what direction you're going into. He's like, just stick to God. He's like, I know, because of course I went to church and I was an altar boy and all that, but I'm not into church now as a man because I've seen two different sides of it. But he used to always tell me, just stick to the light, man. He was like, the negative part, he's like, I've kept you from all that all this time. He's like, now it's your turn to do it with your son. And I was like, and I was grateful that he met my son before he passed, so.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to ask you, like I said, we're going to bounce around a little bit. I think it's great that you waited to have children. I want to say older, but I think it's actually the appropriate age. I don't really know. Is there an appropriate age?
No, because
Right?
at the end of the day, it's not on us. It's on God. Like God gives you, He brings your kids in your life because something is going bad in your life. You understand? Like you say, you had all these cases, all this going on, and then your daughter popped up. You know what that means? Get in line, bro.
She's the reason why I left the streets. Really?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The reason why he bring a kid in your life is because your life is in a whirlwind. Once he puts a kid in you, that's it. Now you got 100% responsibility. So he's like, all right, either you're gonna be against the world or you're gonna be against yourself. To make sure, let me. It's kind of like he puts you in a position where it's a real tight spot that you got to make a decision. And if you decide to be selfish at that point and not take care of your kid, then you become a problem.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time in the hood.
How is that impacting you? Because like I see you're in Switzerland and and all these other places I can't pronounce. So how is it being you're an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
You have this modeling business that you've been killing it for 24 years.
So
How are you managing all of that?
I mean, I'm just going, man. I can't even explain to you how. Like I got my wife, my backbone. She helps me out a lot, tremendously, because my son, when I'm not here, he's like, Dad, where the hell you at? And I know, listen, I'm doing this. Oh, that's cool, but when you coming home? He doesn't care about what I'm doing. He doesn't understand that. He's like, I need you here. I'm like, I'm coming. Or I was like, but what I'm doing is providing for you and your mom. So you got to let me work. He's like, I get it, but why? Like, well, you can't work tomorrow? Like. That happens all the time. Every day he tells me, work tomorrow. I'm like, I tell him all the time, I can't, Bobby. I have to do it I'm a businessman. I got to do it,
Yeah, you definitely have a beautiful family.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it so much, man.
Yeah. So why modeling?
Modeling for me, that was my basketball. Straight up, that was my basketball. That was like Michael Jordan getting to the NBA, like his grind to get there. That was the same situation for me, the same analogy. I was like, fashion is going to be my way out. And my mom was like, you think so? I was like, I know so. I was like, I know. Literally in my room, every Source magazine, I have ads from the first ad that they put up to I think it was 2007. And my mom was like, you got a whole wall with all these people you don't even know. I said, Ma, I know a lot of them. I just don't say I know a lot of them. I was like, all these people you see here, I've met before. And I met the people that's shooting the campaigns. I know the photographers, the stylists, all that I knew already. And at the same time, the ones I didn't know, back then the Vibe magazine, they'll put up, let's say you do Rockaware. True is wearing Rockaware, the stylist is such and such name, photographer is this person. I used to get those two names, do my research. That's who I need to contact for Rockaware. All that was there, but a lot of people didn't look at it that way. Me, I was like, oh shit, they putting people's names on it? Because they don't do that now. Now they just shoot the ad and all this Vogue magazine, that's it.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't like you just this tall, black, handsome dude.
Nah.
Just you put some legwork in. You put some work in.
I put in a lot of work, man. A lot of work.
Tell us about that.
I was literally, like I said, I was grabbing my notebook, pen and pad, every stylist that I saw, every name that I saw on the Vibe magazine, Double XL, Vogue, all those stylists. I wrote all those names down. And I learned once I learned where they worked at, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. And I started going there, yo, listen, my name is Miguel Perdomo, this is my modeling car. They was looking at me, you a model? Nah, you ain't no model. Because at the time I had the curly hair and all that, you know, so there's like, you ain't no model. One guy told me, cut your hair and come back and see me if you serious. I said, nah. And then I let it pass. Then I would say like a month and a half, my boy, you know, I don't know if you know Rocky.
Yeah, I know Rocky. He had the locks.
Yeah, so Rocky.
People used to think that Rocky and I were brothers.
See? So Rock, they invited Rock to some casting, and I went with him. But I didn't go because, again, at that time, you know, I was so mad already because I gave my card out to so many people. They was like, no, cut your hair. I said, no, I'm not cutting my hair. Anyway, long story short, we go to the casting. It's for Russell Simmons' Fat Farm.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, exactly. So they saw me. They was like, oh, you know, you have a good look to you, but you have hair. You know, if you cut your hair, I was like, this is the second person that told me that already. Okay. I was like, if I cut my hair, what, you gonna put me in the ad? They was like, we thinking about it. You know, if we do it, then yeah. I was like, all right. And then she showed me a paper. She said, this is how much you get paid. I was like, yeah, I'm going to the barbershop right now. And it was like $2,500. This is 98. I was like, $2,500 for how long? She was like an hour and a half. I said, what? I'll be back. I went straight to the shop, came back. I seen Stretch. Stretch cut me up. He said, where you going, man? I'm going back to New York. I came right back. She was like, oh, you weren't playing? I said, nah. I said, let's get it. And then the next day, I shot the campaign, and it became a snowball effect after that. Then all the stylists started getting to know me. Like, oh, all right. June Ambrose, which is Jay-Z stylist, she put me in the Rockaway ad, and then she pretty much was promoting me to everybody at that time. You know, because back then it was word of mouth. There was no social media.
Yo, you heard that?
There was no
for our
social
young
media.
listeners.
Yeah.
You got to understand the grind that this man is talking about right now with no social media.
There's no social media. It was all grassroots, bro. It was literally, literally physically meeting people. Like, oh, I work for this company. I work for this company. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is my number. And my number hasn't changed since then. Like, I've never changed my phone number ever because everybody has my number. In case, you could say, put it like this, I'm the James Bond of fashion. Like, everybody knows that because if you have a brand, and you be like, oh, I need my brand to go to the next level. I come in, I'm like the hitman. I come in, I kill it, and I'm out.
No doubt.
Like, I move in, do my thing, and I'm right back out. That's it. That's why they call me the James Bond of fashion, because of that reason.
Yeah, there's definitely, I seen some ads, some big and tall ads.
Yeah.
I look at that, I was like, okay, the outfit is corny, but damn, Miguel make it look fly for some reason.
Dog, my brothers be killing me, brother. They be like, yo, you country as hell. I'm like, all right. Which is fun. Like, it's cool. I'm like, yeah, I love that. I love that because it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. A lot of these ads, I'll be like, I just look at the outfit. I'll be like, I wouldn't wear this outside of here. But, I wouldn't wear this outside of here. But I always tell them, let's make this look as pristine as we can.
Absolutely, and you do.
And thank you, man. But, again, it's a fight between me and the tailor and the stylist because it's like, bro.
Right. So what are some of the challenges that you faced climbing up the ladder?
Oh, I was bigger than a lot of these other models. Like, I was more built than everybody. All these other dudes was like 110 pounds. Like, and I was like 150, 160. At that time, I had a six-pack. They didn't like that. They was like, you too muscular, man. We can't. What the hell are we going to do with you? And I'm like, all right. They was like, if you tone it down a little bit, like lose a little bit of muscle, then we could work with you. And I was like, because they always told me, you're going to do well in urban world. In the urban world, you're going to do well. But if you want to cross over the mainstream, you got to lose the muscles. I was like, bro, like, what, am I supposed to shoot dope? Like, how the hell am I going to do this? Like, when you already built naturally, I'm like, so I started doing cardio. That's how I got on the bike. That's why everybody used to see me on the bike. I'm in a sweatsuit in the summer, 95 degrees outside, I'm in a sweatsuit.
Were there any, like, challenges that really stressed you out mentally that you had to, just go above and beyond or anything to that degree?
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you before, just because I wasn't built like those,
like a typical model.
Yeah, like a typical model. So for me, I literally had to learn how to like lose weight, and damn, at that time there was YouTube, but it was not like what it is now. YouTube has exploded to different,
right.
catapulted to something else. But at that time, I didn't have no answers. So that what I did was I went into the boxing gym, Randy and Ice, Park Avenue, Carroll. And I met this young brother. He's a champ, I met this brother named Kendall Holt.
Oh, no doubt. Kendall Holt. Yo, Kendall Holt, we want you on the show.
Exactly. And then
Patterson legend.
I met him, and he gave me a lot of tips, like on how to lose weight quick. He's like, dude, I do this to do weigh-ins, yeah. And that's what he does. And then I took that, and because I literally hated being inside of a gym. I was like, I can't be in a gym. I was like, I'm gonna just take everything that he taught me verbally. He taught me like, do this. You know, he gave me like a little game plan, and I just jumped on my bike and I was gone. I've been Garrett Mountain ever since, you know, and literally just dropping the weight. And he's like, once you get to that weight, then he's like, you can't eat crazy. You know, you got to stay there. You know, I'm like, all right. And once I lost it, then everything took off after that. Then my struggle was losing the weight because I was already too big.
Right. There's a stigma, I'll say, for lack of a better word. You know, I'm being careful with my words.
I got you.
When it comes to modeling and that whole industry, were you ever like exposed to it, or did you ever have to like make certain choices? I know you'll never fold. What I'm saying is like make certain choices. Like, nah, I ain't doing that. Like,
No, it's funny. Nothing never presented itself like that to me. I guess they knew like he's not the guy to mess with. Like,
right.
And then for like a hot minute, I was like the bully because I'm like, you know, I didn't like all the androgynous shit that was going on. I was like, nah, that's not my lane. You know, I respect it. I respect y'all. I got my love for y'all, but I don't do that. You know, like I'm, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a grown ass man. You know, I was literally, you know, laying the law down. And certain clients was like, you know what? Let's take a chance on them. And then they did. And then they was like, yo, the best decision we made was taking a chance on you. I'm like, all right, there you go.
It's one of the things that I appreciate about you too, because I've seen you in action. You're the same wherever you go.
Yeah.
And so I know that when I transitioned, coming from Patterson, you were coming from, you know, the education, the environment, and all of that stuff. I had some insecurities when I transitioned into like the civilian world, living normal.
Yeah, of course.
I had some insecurities because of like the way I spoke, you know, and I mean, even like I remember when I first started working, people would always say, yo, you know, that I walk different, you know, because, you know, we move a certain way where we're from.
Of course.
How were you able to like move in so many different circles, so many different countries and everything, and still be you?
I mean, again,
Or did you have to, or did you have to make some changes and adaptions? And
yeah. I mean, I sharpen my language, you know, my speech better, you know. Of course, because you got to adapt. You know, you can't really be talking, you know, you got to know when to speak corporate, know when to speak hood, you know. And a lot of people don't know how to distinguish that, you know, which I see that all the time, you know, amongst our peers. But me, I had to learn that quick. I'm like, listen, if I'm gonna speak to these people professionally and I sound crazy, they're not gonna take me serious. I was like, if you don't know how to have a intellectual dialect, you know, an intellectual dialogue, I'm sorry, they're not gonna take you serious. They're gonna be, this is just another hood guy, another dumb guy. Exactly. You know, I don't want to say the word, but you know, just another dumb guy.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I can't, because at the same time, I'm not. I know you read a lot of books.
Indeed.
I don't read a lot of books. I'm an audio book guy. Because when I'm working, I need to hear it behind me. When I used to go to school, academically, I was terrible. Because if you put me behind a desk, I'm gonna die. I don't learn like that. I learn visualize. I have to see you doing it, and then I learn. Yeah. A lot of the things that I do now, I learn just by looking at it, not reading a book about. I don't read manuals, even though I'm great at reading. I love to read, but it puts me to sleep.
You know, don't lose your thought. I think it's really important to highlight that because one of the issues that I have with the educational system is that they don't honor the various ways that people learn.
No.
You know, some people are visual, some people are kinesthetics, you know, with their hands. Yeah. Like, you know, I know some people, they don't read, but they'll put a whole engine together. Yeah. That's a sign of intelligence.
Of course.
You know, and in the education system, and I know some teachers, you know, my wife, she's a therapist, she used to work in the education system, so this is no knock to them, but I think that, you know, it's one of the reasons why I appreciate the Montessori system. Of course. Because what they have a curriculum, and what they do, they teach the curriculum based on the child's desire to learn.
Yeah, that's
so
all
if you're
creativity.
Visual, cool. Yeah. If you're kinesthetic, cool. If you're auditorial, cool. You know, so I pardon me. I think that I'm glad you said that, because not that I'm promoting or giving anybody a pass who's struggling in school. I think you should do your best when it comes to academics and your school and your education.
Of course.
That's actually, you know, we have a video when we talk about like our 3 biggest mistakes as teens. And one of the ones that I said was not applying myself in school.
Of course.
So definitely apply yourself in school. However, it just shows and proves that you struggled in school and you're still a successful, bright and one of the smartest men I know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, of course, again, I struggle because, like, when you put me in the desk, I'm gonna die. Like, I was like, I can't learn like this. I have to see it. You know, like it's kind of like guys are trying to teach me stocks now. I'm like, I don't know anything about stocks. I was like, but you need to, if you show me how to do it, and then once I learn, I'm like, oh, all right, I got it. But you tell me read this manual, it's not gonna work that way. I can't. I'm like, I'll read it, and I'm gonna be like, all right, what am I gonna do next? You know,
I got a call yesterday from a brother who was struggling with consistency, being consistent. And I was like, wow, that's ironic because I'm interviewing somebody, you know what I mean, this weekend who's one of the most consistent men I know, you know, in terms of like doing the one thing. There's a book called The One Thing, by the way, amazing book.
Okay.
One of the proverbs in that book is when you chase two rabbits, you don't catch either one.
No.
All right. So for those people out there who are struggling with being consistent, you know, what advice, what wisdom, you know, what suggestions do you have for them being somebody who has been consistent in one field for so long and climbed the ladder?
Yeah. No, I mean, again, it goes back to accountability, man. Like, you know, you got to decide for yourself what you want to do, what you want. Of course, there's a million avenues. Again, put it like this. New York has what? Let's say 700 streets, all right? There's at least 5 ways to get to the same destination. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. So many signs, another thing I learned too along the way. A lot of signs say out the hood this way. Doesn't mean you have to go this way. You can go that way, whichever way you want. But you have to do it yourself. You have to want it. You know, like, again, a lot of our friends that we know, they so smart and geniuses, and a lot of these layers that they have to them. And I'll be like, yo, you know you can do this? Oh, I didn't know I could do that. I'm like, yeah, you could do that. You can make money doing this. But they don't know because, again, they don't have somebody to look up to or to speak to them about, you know, whatever it is that they're trying to do. And that bothers me all the time. I'm like, listen, if you don't find somebody, create the space, because there's somebody like you that's struggling that needs the same thing that you're talking about. Like if you're good at, let's say, making car parts, make the car parts. And watch the kid that's learning, like, I want to make car parts too. He's going to come up to you and talk to you. Like, yo, how do you make this part? How do you assemble this? Everything, again, it's accountability, whatever you want to do.
I love that because I definitely believe that accountability is one of the most important things.
And again, a lot of people don't like to face it because to them, they're insecure about it. I'm like, don't be insecure, man. If this is what you're good at, be good at that.
Yeah. And I think it's easy to blame somebody else.
Of course, but it's like, why though? Because you're scared, you want to blame somebody else because you're scared. And a lot of people are scared of success. A lot of people, because they...
You know, when people say that, what does that mean exactly, that people are scared of success?
It means like they don't want like the I would say all the specs on them. A lot of people don't want a lot of eyes watching them. You know, we come from that era where it's no face, no case.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I know a lot of guys they masters at, let's say, one of our guys, you know, he's a beast at masonry. Like he does anything cement, he could build you a whole damn hotel in cement. But you call him to do a job, he don't want to do it. Oh no, because this person you know, he's in touch with this person, you know, these guys are cops. Doesn't matter, but you a businessman. I was like, you need to get that street ethic, take it away. I was like, get in your lane, bro, get in your bag. This is what you do, right? Present yourself as a businessman. Like, chill with the street. You're not a street guy no more. You need to evolve.
You know what I think it is too is that, and I've learned this from my personal experience, that as you start to break through, right, you have to grow.
Yes.
And that growing process is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And there's moments where you may not only be uncomfortable, but you may have to take or put in more effort to learn something different.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like what you do got you this far, and now you're saying like, okay, I have to do something else. I have to learn this. I have to change the way I speak now. Like little things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that most people just are scared with being uncomfortable. And I've always wondered about that because I know like real street dudes, bro, that'll put you down. And then they're uncomfortable to fill out an application.
Yeah. No, because they feel insecure about whatever situation. That's a personal thing. That has nothing to do with you. You know how many times you try to help somebody and they don't even want to help themselves?
Right.
That kills me all the time. I'm like, why? Like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, but I'm gonna put you on. Like, it's gonna be easy for you. No, I'm good. And again, they're scared of success because they know they're probably gonna do really good at it, and then they don't want to hear that. Oh, I told you so.
And you know what else too? With success comes new responsibilities.
Exactly. And that's another thing that people scared of because, like you said before, the change, they don't like that. Some people are so used to like doing the same thing every day. Every day you wake up and you got two choices, man. You could decide to do this or you could decide to do this. It's just chance and choices.
Right.
One thing that I'm hearing though is like self-doubt and insecurity a lot. And with you being, a couple of decades in the modeling industry, how were you able to get past? Because I could only imagine, like, people are insecure dealing with one person. Here you are with billboards where thousands and thousands of people are like looking at you through like a microscopic lens. How do you deal with that insecurity? And what's one piece of advice that you could give to somebody else that may not be in the modeling industry, but whatever industry that they're in, but they feel insecure or they feel that self-doubt in putting themselves out there? How are you able to?
I mean, for me, it's like I told you before. I needed to see myself. That's my own personal goal. I was like, I got to see myself on this billboard. I don't care what the hell's got to happen. I'm gonna do it. And I didn't have no insecurity. The only insecurity I did have was the weight. But other than that, once I dropped it, I was like, that was the only block that I had. I was like, okay. So everybody that has an insecurity, there's a block that's blocking them for them to get to the next point. So they just got to, own into that. Like, all right, what's blocking me to get to this goal? And again, like we said, people don't like to be uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, that's the best space to be in. Like it's one of those things where it's gonna make you, it's gonna break you, either or.
You've always been very confident. Now that I think about it, thank you for asking that question because it made me, reflect on how long I've known them. And you've always been very confident. How did you develop that?
I get, oh man, that's all the hustlers that I know. They was like, listen, whatever you're gonna do, put your 100% into it. If you don't put 100%, it's not gonna work. He said, if you got self-doubt, it's not gonna work. He's like, if it's uncomfortable for you, that's good. Because again, like I said before, it's gonna make you or break you. He said, if you, some people that get uncomfortable, they just quit because they don't even want to deal with the new success that comes with it. Again, I've been in this industry 24 years now, and I see guys come and go. I get DMs like literally all the time. I'm coming for your crown. You can have it, boss. You can have it. Like, I just want to consistently work.
How were you able to stay in such a fast-paced industry for so long? Like, you don't hear models for 20 plus years.
I know.
I know that at most.
I know.
And in addition to that, right? So that's one, and also like transition to the new way, the new stages. Like now you have social media. Now like magazines aren't the thing anymore.
No. Yeah, so, now it's all online. Again, that's another transition. And when that happened, this happened like in 2009 when that crash came. Like there's no more magazines now. Everything is online. So then when that happened, I had to literally pivot. Like, all right, I'm gonna do lifestyle now. Lifestyle's where it's at. And I told my agency, let's do the lifestyle route. That's where we're gonna go. They was like, that's not gonna work. I was like, it's gonna work. Trust me. I was like, lifestyle's where it's at because when you walk into Target, you see in a family on a billboard. That's lifestyle.
Yeah.
You walk into Walmart, you see somebody happy because they're picking up their medication. That's lifestyle. I was like, listen, let's go to lifestyle. That's the route. And they was like, maybe you got a niche here. Maybe you got it. And I said, I already got it because I saw it. I was like, I'm in the streets. You're not in the streets. You're behind a desk. I'm in the streets. I said, all you do is look at faces and make a decision. Like, all right, this is the guy we're gonna go with. True, he's gonna shoot the Walmart campaign. You're not in the streets. I am. I see it. I'm like, okay, lifestyle's where it's at. And then that boom came. Then everything is online now. I was like, I told y'all. They was like, oh my God. So every time I transitioned, every time. And when I started Big and Tall, it was 2009. There was no Big and Tall. I can't say I was the first one. I was the fourth one. There's 3 guys before me. But those guys didn't really get the big brands like I did, But I always pay homage to them. I always, I see them all the time. I give my respect. Thank you for even creating this lane for guys like me. Because again, I've always struggled with the weight, man. I was always bigger than these regular models. Every time we do runway shows, The clothes never fit me. They got to cut it for me, and they hated doing that because you're wasting time. To them, time is money in New York. So it's like, you wasting time to cut for this one guy? You know? And I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. You don't even have to pay me, man. Just let me get on the runway. And like I said, I worked for free so many times. They was looking at me like, for real? I said, yeah. And I worked for free so many times, and that got me to the next thing, you know? They was like, oh, we might have something for you. And then they'll connect the dots. And then that's how I kept working. But the stylists and the photographers, you got to make relationships, man. My network is crazy because of that.
Your network is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And I just keep it quiet. I don't tell nobody who I know, and that's the scary part.
I appreciate that about you too. Like,
Yeah.
I see pictures with you with Victor Cruz, the NFL player, and,
Yeah.
and different actors, you know, and different things. And, you know, you always stay like the same person that I met on 10th Ave.
Yeah, but I understand, and I see that a lot too from people that they change because they running with a different crowd. I'm gonna be the same guy, man. Like, I don't never forget where I'm from. This is why I decided to make a brand called Patterson. For that reason, Patterson merch, because I'm like, listen, it don't matter where I'm at in the world. Everybody know where my home is. People that don't even know me know that I'm from Patterson. Like, they don't know me physically, but they're like, I heard about you. You from Patterson? What's up? What's good?
And I appreciate you repping.
Not always.
Because this is what I always say. When they
Always.
see brothers like us, and this ain't no disrespect to anybody else. but
No,
when they see
not at
brothers
all.
like
Not
us,
at all.
we're sending an indirect message because I'll tell you a quick story. I remember when I was in college, I was in an X-ray program. As you know, I'm with the PCC right in Patterson.
That's right.
And I remember this older woman, right? She said, "Wow," you know, she came to me with like almost like a sad face.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, what's wrong?" So and so, you know, I'm not gonna say her name. She was like, "You know, I want to be honest with you. If I saw you out in the street, I would cross the street or hold on to my bag. But meanwhile, I'm here, and you're so smart. You're so this, right? Giving me all these accolades, and I appreciate that. And so I say that to say, not to big myself up.
No, that's all
What I'm
good.
saying is that brothers like you and I who come from the hood and decide to do different things and to grow and to, you know, and to learn new skills, we shed a positive light for everybody. So now maybe someone might be less quick to judge
Yeah.
that somebody that got a hoodie on or somebody that comes from Patterson. Maybe they're like, well, you know, I know Miguel. Miguel's a good man. Maybe he's a good man too, and be less quick to judge somebody.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like the judgment part, I hate that. I don't judge nobody because you don't know anything about them without even speaking to them. You know what I'm saying? You can't not just I'm gonna paint them this way. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
You can be cautious. I think it's
Yeah,
smart
but-
to be cautious.
Yeah, but I mean, growing up in Patterson, we all got a spidey sense. You know, we all know, all right, this ain't it. You know, let's move on. This, you know, we all know this guy's not a good person. We just, you know, go move around them and just keep it going. But again, everybody has spidey sense. I mean, you know, I get that.
I know you've traveled to many places.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite and why?
I would say Stockholm. Stockholm, Sweden is beautiful, man. Like, the people there are nice. And then also, I've never seen, like, nobody there is judgmental, literally. Like, they come up to you and talk to you like they know you for years, which I was just like, all right, you know, we don't really do this. You know, we always sit our back to the door. I mean, like, our face to the door to see what's going on. There's, no, you don't have to here. It's fine. I was like, nah, I have to. Because we're so conditioned to be, you know, in that environment. So they was like, you know, we know you're from the United States. Like, you don't got to. There's no crime here. You could, you know, relax, chill. I was like, all right. And then once I started getting, you know, the hang of the city, I'm like, this is a beautiful place. I want to live there. I would love to live there. There's no crime there at all. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's on their due diligence. Everybody's like chasing a goal. And I was like, and in my mind, I said, if our hood was like that, forget it. Because in Patterson, there's so much talent, bro. So much. And then it's so built up on from this block. Bro, you don't own anything on that block, man. You just rent.
Yeah.
You a renter, man. If you own a building or something, I understand, but you don't.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I think that I haven't been to as many places as you, but I think traveling at a young age, you know, being Dominican, I'm already going to, you know, DR and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I lived in Cali.
Yeah.
I used to spend summers in New York, in the Bronx specifically.
Right.
And so I just always knew. So, and then also I moved throughout Patterson too. I always knew that this is a big world.
It is.
And so although I rep a block, you know, just like you rep Patterson, I rep Patterson, and everybody knows I'm from 10th Ave. I say, you know what I mean? Like, if I was a rapper, that would be like, it would be in every verse.
But you see, that's where when they ask me, you from Park Ave, I said, no, I'm from Patterson. It don't even matter because one street is still a whole city.
Indeed.
So when they asked me, yeah, I was born and raised in Park Ave, yeah, but I'm from Patterson. They was like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm from every block, bro.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I met you on 10th Ave.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I'm from every block. It don't matter. I can go anywhere. And when I go to Compton, it's the same situation. In Compton, I got so many guys that's on both sides, that I love to death, and I don't have any problems.
So you're into movies now.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't say a lot. You specifically told me.
Yeah, I'm getting in there. It's again, this is not an easy transition, man, because this is now modeling is you just you shut up and just pose.
Right
now you got to talk. And so pretty much what you do, but now you got to talk now. So it's an added and I'm like, damn, like for me, I'm getting in it. Little by little, I'm getting there. So
I saw a picture of you with like a detective jacket on.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yo, Miguel looks too good in that detective. Hold up. Yo, I'm like, yo, hold up. Who is he really?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, all my cousins are like, nah, bro, don't tell me you 12. I was like,
let me find out, man. I think I commented on the pic. Like, yo, you look too good in that detective jacket, my man.
I got so much lag, but a good lag, like nothing.
Always lag.
And I was like, yeah, man, you 12? I was like, nah, man, on a TV show I was. They was like, that actually looks good on you. I was like, chill. Like, I respect 12. Don't get me wrong, man. I love y'all, all good, whatever. But I was like,
I know you're again, whatever you can share,
Yeah.
You were in a movie with Robert De Niro that's coming out on Netflix.
No, it's actually a TV show. It's called Zero Day. So and that's when you see me with that cop uniform. I was literally
TV show.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It drops now in July.
How is that working with like these big?
Man, these big names, bro. It's a different transition for me because I'm gonna be the same guy regardless. So it's like when I meet these guys, I'm like, all right, well, nice to meet you, whatever. And they look at me like, why is this guy so like normal? Like, because I'm not like, oh my God, it's Robert De Niro. I'm like, how you doing, man? You good? Like, I'm like, dude, I've met a million celebrities.
You know what I appreciate too? Like I don't know if I'm tripping, but like I'll see videos of you with like these stars, right? And I don't really know their names.
Yeah.
I'm like that. Even with like all the books I read, I don't even know
the authors,
names,
yeah.
right? But I'm like, and I hear you doing a live, and there's a star next to you, like a big name, right? And you sound like yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. You're not like, hey, nice. Like you're not making your voice higher or nothing. I'm like, oh, he's being himself for real.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, again, I don't feel insecure around none of them. Like they all, yeah, you got more money than me. That's it. That's the only thing I look at.
You started rubbing shoulders with them though before acting, even modeling, right?
Yeah.
Jay-Z stylist helped you.
Yeah.
And I remember I was reading the article that Essence had.
Oh yeah. My girl Demetria.
Eye candy of the.
Yeah, I think it was like the week.
Yeah.
I can't even
So man, I can see it. I was reading that, and
it was wild.
Don't let my wife see that, man.
No, this is years.
One of the things that they mentioned though as well was that Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, actually like personally signed you for. Sean John too, right?
And you know how that worked out? Look how crazy this is. My cousin LD he's a limo driver. Still to this day, he drives like Nicolas Cage, all these guys, right? He's like a personal chauffeur. So this guy had my count card in his limo, and he was taking Atiba. Atiba is Puff Stylist at that time. He was taking him to dress Diddy for the Emmys or whatever. I think it was like the 56, whatever year it was. This is 2008. And he had my card in his limo, and Atiba was like, yo, who the hell does this dude, bro? I'm looking for models. He was like, yeah, it's my cousin Miguel. He's from Patterson, from Jersey. Oh, wow. And that's how that Sean John thing happened, because of my cousin Heldy. Love you, El. So it happened because of that. And then Atiba got my number. He called me the next day. This is, I would say, May, like 2008, 2009. That's when the whole economy crashed, right? Around that time. So he calls me, yo, listen, we looking for models. We got a campaign coming up. June spoke to me about you, but it's crazy that I find your account card in this man's car. I don't even know this man. I was like, that's my cousin. He said, no, he told me that, but I didn't know that. Obviously, he's just driving me. I was like, I get it. So then he had my account card, called me. I go in, I meet Puff. You know, and it's not nothing crazy. Like I met Daddy and it was cool. He was like, "You from Jersey?" Yeah, no, he got a lot of things going on right now. I know. And then it's like, it's one of those situations where he was like, "You from Patterson?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I know about you guys. You know, you guys are brawlers." I said, "Yeah, I love to fight." And he was looking at me like, I understand, I get it." He was like, "You in the right place." And then, you know, and then we shook hands and he kept it moving. And then he's like, "T, we're going to take care of you." I said, "All right, cool." They dressed me and then they gave they measured me for all my sizes and all that. And then it's like, "All right, see you in 2 days. We'll send you the email." And I didn't even have an email at that time. I said, "What?" I was like, "Email?" I was like, "Just text me." He's like, "No, we're going to email you." I was like, "Oh, shit." And I had to go home, make an email because I didn't have email. And I had to, and then I didn't. That's the first time I heard about Gmail. Because again, I was so busy on the trap phone, Nextels, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Miss those phones.
me too.
It's interesting because one thing we always say on the show is luck is
Yeah,
opportunity means preparation.
That's it.
So it wasn't even luck that happened. Like
No.
you put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
You had the right networks
Yeah.
in order for that opportunity,
Yeah.
which is disguised as luck, to even present itself. So no, that's powerful.
I'm telling you, when they came through, I was like, I was already ready. Because
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is what I want. I want this, you know.
And also too, like I'm hearing like you had a vision. So
Yeah.
even though like something like that happened that seemed like luck, it's actually part of your vision.
Yeah, it was premeditated for sure. But again, it's because in my room, I had all these ads on the wall. That was my vision board. Like, and I didn't even know that was a thing at that time. Now I hear all these marketing gurus. Yeah, you got to have a vision board. I was like, I was doing that already. I just didn't know it was a vision board. You know, like I literally had Sean John. I had Averex. I had Pele. I had all these brands. And then at the bottom, my favorite cars: 740, S500. You know, all these cars that I love. And I'm like, I'm gonna get every car that's on this wall. I'm gonna get. I promise you that.
You know, as we start to land the plane, I wanted to ask you, because I want to, talk a little bit about your entrepreneurship as well.
Yeah.
And some of the things you're doing in the community.
Okay.
How do you feel about these like, because you being from the like gotta put in work era,
Yeah.
how do you feel about these like overnight Instagram models? Like, you just take a selfie and I'm a model.
Yeah.
And some of them pop off or whatever. Like, how do you feel about that?
They put a stain in our industry. They put a stain in the industry because a lot of them they're just like they're just social media people. But when you actually have a conversation with them, they don't talk. The majority of them don't talk because they don't know how to talk because they don't need to. Their world is I'll just post a picture and I get paid X amount of dollars for this one photo. Yeah. A lot of them don't talk. So I'm from that grassroots era. I'm like, so where where's you from? Where your parents from? Where you from? Like, what's your goal? All those questions they don't like to get asked because again they like you see my Instagram, right? I got 1 million followers, and that for them that should be your end answer. Like I said, don't ask me no more.
Wow. So what I'm hearing,
Like,
there's some character development
big
that
time.
the journey has taught you.
Yeah.
That those people, because they don't have that, they're missing out.
Oh, big time. But at the same time, let's just say if they would have the guideline, they still gonna miss it because they don't physically be out there. Like a lot of
that work.
No, they don't put in work.
Appreciate it as much.
They don't know. Me, I appreciate it like big time. To be still be working at my age. And when I be meeting these guys, they be like, "How old are you?" And I tell them, they be like, "Get the hell out of here." I'm like, "Yeah. Hopefully I'll be like you." And I'm like, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
Thank
which
you.
goes back to your question.
You
The longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the longevity.
Yeah, and what was dope because like you've transitioned, like so you were in the Don Divas, Young Man, Now you're doing the big and tall family photos.
Yeah.
So like your modeling is reflecting the different stages, which is super dope because I see a lot of older people. When I say older, I mean people our age who are trying to be young.
Yeah, no.
And I appreciate that you're not doing that. You're not like I don't even know what the young people what they look at now, but you're like evolving in your business as well as you're evolving as a man.
Of course.
It's like it's both evolving.
Yeah, it's the same time. It's a dual relationship,
Right.
And I can't. My spirit is young, so I can't dress like these 25-years. I can't because I feel crazy.
Right.
My internal clock be like, nah, you look wild. You exactly. You wild and you look crazy. And thank God I got a big ass mirror at home. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. And I just keep it neutral, you know.
Yes.
But the fact that I have my brand, the only thing that I really wear is my brand, you know.
Right. So perfect segue. Let's talk about your brand.
Yeah.
You know, entrepreneur. You're doing big things in the city, giving back. You know, what inspired you to get into the? You know, I'll let you talk about what you do. What inspired you to get into that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the Patterson hoodie that we both got on, it's inspired by Nipsey, because Nipsey Hussle is like my favorite rapper. Like, you know, and I met Nipsey way before the world knew Nipsey. Like, you know, I met him back in 2007 in Vegas, and when I met this dude, he was rolling for real. Like, it was like 100 Crips with him. I was like, okay, now this guy he locked down Vegas, and we was there for Agenda. Agenda is a yearly show that it's a trade show that all the brands come together. It's like a convention center, and you see the lines before they even make it to the store, you know. And this guy came in, and he said, yo, you got to give me and all my partners clothes. I was like, who the hell are you? I don't even know this guy. And then he said, my name is Nipsey Hussle. You know, he pretty much dropped his mixtape. The Crenshaw joined no, it wasn't the Crenshaw. It was
Bullets ain't got no name on it?
No, it wasn't that one. It was after that. It's forget the name of it. Jesus Christ. This is the one that has the mansion on it. It has the red and the cover that has all the logos on them.
Okay.
I forget, man. Mind you, I've been listening to Nipsey since then.
No doubt.
So when we met, he was like, yeah, you know, I'm working with Undefeated right now. We was like, oh, so we can't give you clothes. Long story short, he was mad. We gave him clothes, but not his 100 goons. I was like, I don't know these guys. You an artist. That's your entourage. I can't feed the entourage. Long story short, the reason why that's Patterson is made out of Crenshaw. So I took that Crenshaw and I was like, all right, I'm going to make the Patterson version. It's just the same thing. Crenshaw is a hood too. I've been in Crenshaw. But the funny thing is that Crenshaw is a street. It's not even a hood. Because it's Compton. Like, it's just the other side of Slauson. That's all it is. You know, it's the same thing with Patterson. It's one big city is a hood. And it doesn't matter what block you from, because it represents the whole city anyway. Yeah, this is exactly why my brand came up.
So this is a tribute to your city as well as your favorite rapper.
Exactly. So, you know, everybody that sees it, it's supposed to say Crenshaw. They're not supposed to say Patterson, because I'm not from Crenshaw.
Right.
But it's
about that real quick, since you're well traveled.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that you see? Do you see similarities in different hoods that you've seen?
Oh, everywhere. It's the same thing. It's the same. The only thing is that in the West Coast, you know, obviously they gang culture. That's 100% like raw and live. That's all you see out there. It's either you blue or you red, either or, you know. And when you go to like Ohio, same thing. There's just different gangs. You got GDs, you got Vice Lords. It's the same thing in every hood. And you got the same formula as a trap, and I tell people this, it's just a different state. That's all it is.
So what's next for your entrepreneurship and your merch?
I mean, I'm just building my brand up, you know, as I go. And then I got my brand, this one, the Patterson brand, I got the Con Dios, with God. That's another brand I got. And then I'm doing the Perdomo France joint. Like, I'll show you that. There's, you know, it's pretty dope too. That's like I would say like my fear of God. Like, you know how Fear of God came out with theirs? So I'm working on mine like that. You know, because I respect those guys. They've been around for a minute now. Everywhere I see is a damn hoodie with Fear of God. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But I love the consistency that he keeps dropping, and people keep buying it. And that's what I want to do with our brand. It's just, you know, of course my brand is just Patterson, but I got others, you know, brands too to you know, bring up.
Yeah, and so tell us about your community work and giving back. What's your vision with that?
I mean, bro, I always give back. I talk to the schools all the time. Like that's my community service. I literally talk to school. I talk to school 24 like in a week. So I like talking to the kids because this new generation, they're lazy. This new generation is lazy. Not all of them, but you know, it's because I see they don't have work ethic at all. They don't have no discipline. You know, so it's like you got to literally instill that in them. They don't know what that is. Because a lot of them, they scared. They don't know which route to go. And you got to literally like make them uncomfortable. Like we said before, make them uncomfortable to make a decision. I'm going to do this. But a lot of them are scared.
What's your core message?
My core message is
to the youth.
Yeah, to follow your heart, whatever you want to do. And then also a lot of the times, like I always tell them, there's gonna be a job that you want to do that they don't have it. You got to create it. You know, I was like, don't fall into that box that, all right, let me go get a 9 to 5. I was like, no, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that don't get a 9 to 5. If that's what you want to do it. But at the same time, don't box yourself in either. A lot of them do that. They just get one job and they stay there 30 years. Like, nah, bro.
They never get a chance to really see what they're truly passionate about.
Exactly. Like what? Like I always ask them, what you really want to do, and then I'll be like, not what you trying to do to survive. That's not the question. The question is what you really want to do. Don't take the survival part out of it,
bro. Wow, you don't know how important that statement is.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to our producer Lewis about that. That a lot of the major choices that I've made in my life, which I'm grateful for, I'm blessed, but they were based on survival. I'm an X-ray tech. The field has blessed me. Thank you, Professor Parsha Hobson, for convincing me not to leave the college that day when I was discouraged, when the nursing program said it wouldn't take me because I'm a convicted felon. But a lot of the choices, they weren't like because I really wanted to. They were because it was like, I wanted to be a psychologist, but I was like, yo, I got a daughter. Like, I ain't got time for all that. Well, how many years of school? Nah, I need something quick, you know? And so even now, you know, outside of this podcast, I'm doing things that I appreciate. And it's not like I hate it or nothing like that, but it's based on survival. And I was telling Lewis, I was like, bruh, it stops here. Like, that's it. You know, I'm doing one thing right now. And after that, that's it, you know? And so that's such a powerful thing that you said. Just wanted to really highlight that.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's the truth, though. It's like a lot of people fall into the survival mode and they do that current job that they're doing, but that's not really what they want to do. They scared to do, you know, I don't know how to move on. You know how to do it, bro. The answer's inside of you. You scared. And like, if you scared, that's a personal issue. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. That's what it feels like when you're about to blow up. But people don't get that.
So I guess a important question that, you know, our viewers and some of the youth should ask themselves is, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you be doing?
If I didn't have to worry about money, what would I be doing? I think I'd probably be building communities, like literally in DR. Like, there's a lot of places there that still got shacks. I hate seeing that. Like, people living in a shack. It's just 4 walls and the iron roof. I hate seeing that.
When it rains, you hear every single shot.
Exactly. And me, I don't like hearing it. I don't like seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if I could provide myself with this, they can too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do that for them. Trust me, if I had, they would have been took me out. Trust me. Because I'm going to do so much, they're going to be like, no, we got to take this guy out. He's messing up. He's throwing a wrench in our formula.
You know, I have a few more questions for you.
No, go ahead, man. Ask away.
So, you know, we're from the same generation. How are you managing being a father, being a man, entrepreneurship? I don't even know how to say the word, philanthropist. How you say that? There you go. And just, you know, traveling. I know you touched on it a little bit. I find that a lot of men, including myself, are struggling with a lot of the things that we have to juggle. A marriage, you know, and as a man, having to invest so much of ourselves. And I'm not saying that as a victim. I'm saying that as what it is, because I don't want to make it sound like victim, like I'm whining about it.
No.
How are you managing that? Because a lot of men that I know are going through it mentally and emotionally. You know, they're doing things like not exercising or not eating properly and things like that. So what advice or what wisdom, you know, or if you wanted to share some things that you're dealing with maybe, but, you know, for men to stay strong.
Yeah. No, but...
And pardon, and don't lose yourself. Yeah. Don't forget about what's important to you.
Yeah, of course. So to touch on that, you know, we have a workout group, you know. So that right there alone is like a stress reliever to a lot of men.
I tell people that it's therapy for me.
Exactly. But you have to find what is therapy for you. And you have to find your tribe that does that. Like I go work out with you guys on Sundays, right? And when I don't work out with you guys, I'm playing balls because I'm in the league, right? So either way, it's still therapy for me. me moving my body is therapy for me, you know. And then speaking to other men about, because we all got the same issues, man. We just in a different body. That's all it is. We all got the same situation. You got a family. You gotta invest time in your family. Invest time in your business. We all jugglers. This is what we do. We juggle. We have to learn how to juggle correctly, and it sucks sometimes because you want to be with your family, but then you can't make money. So it's like, you know, that's the tug of war that we always gonna face. Always gonna be faced with that. But the way you spell with your family, the way you spell love is time. And I tell dudes this all the time. All the fathers that I know, yo, listen, spend time with your kids, bro. You're gonna lose money, it's cool. Your kids are gonna love that shit for you. They're gonna love that because when they get older, they're gonna be like, yo, you know, my dad lost like 4 or 5 jobs, you know, because he wanted to be with us. I tell my son this all the time. I lost plenty of jobs. I was like, but you're more important to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. And I feel you, man. Like last night, you know, I was in my office, and Omari, that's my youngest.
Yeah.
He was in front of me playing with his toys, bro. And I lost a major stream of income. So, you know, I'm going through it right now. And I was playing with him, and my mind was like, bro, you need to get on it, like get on the podcast or you know, I'm studying for a certification or something else. But anyway, the whole thing is that my mind was thinking about something else. And I was like, bruh, stop.
Yeah.
Like, you've been grinding all week. Like, I'm literally telling myself this, like, in a matter of a few seconds.
Yeah.
Stop. You've been grinding all week. Like, he's 2 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get down on the floor and spend time with him. And I just had to shut that voice up, bro.
I'm telling you. And that's another thing, because men don't really go to therapy, bro. Like, you know how many of our boys don't go to therapy?
Yeah, I do.
No, I do too, but, you know, when I have time, I go. But it's like, a lot of our friends, they don't go to therapy. So when we do workout sessions, that's their therapy. That's it. But just one day, though. But it's like, come on, man. You know, like, you know, you need different outlets. That's why I paint. But I paint because of that, because it's therapeutic, yeah. And it's the same thing for me. I lost a lot of bread. When this whole transition, like this pandemic came, oh, bro, I had to pivot, man. Thank God that I'm, you know, I know how to hustle and I know how to move. But a lot of people don't got the same situation as me. You know, a lot of my boys, they losing shit, you know, like literally losing. Like, one of my boys lost a car, another one lost a house. Like, you know, it sucks. And me, if I had all the financial gains, I would have, here, take that. No, don't lose nothing. But that's not the situation, because everybody has a family too, you know.
What's your favorite audiobook? Or
my favorite audiobook is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Why?
My favorite, because it gives you a perspective of a rich father and a broke guy and a broke father. And they both have great values, but the rich guy makes you uncomfortable. The poor guy doesn't. The poor guy tells you, go to school and get a degree.
Follow the status quo.
Right? The rich guy is like, no, sorry for cursing, fuck school, be an entrepreneur. Learn something that you're good at, build it, have people work for you. And I was like, shit, like, it makes me think so much. Like, and then, you know, I was telling him, you know, I was having this conversation with my girl. I was like, because, you know, some people like being structured. When you're an entrepreneur, there's no structure. There's like the tree, you're the tree, and this is all the branches. And this is how you make money, all these branches. When you structure, it's just the root. There's no tree. That's it. It's just right there, and that's the glass ceiling. Like, whatever the company's paying you, that's it.
That's it. You know, it's interesting. I relate to that because I'm both, but I'm primarily a very rigid, structured person.
Yeah.
And I'm finding, as I'm leaning towards entrepreneurship, how uncomfortable I get because of that. Like, I thrive. I want to say I thrive with structure and systems.
Of course.
So entrepreneurship, though, I think you thrive better when you bring that to entrepreneurship, but it's just really marrying the two.
And that's the thing, though. But when you marry the two, you're gonna have people working for you, and that the structure you build is what they're gonna work on. Yeah. So you don't have to put yourself in that situation anymore. Now I got all these people working for me. That's like Elon Musk. He's not a your conventional structure guy, but his company is run like that. It's ran like that. Every guy like that that's in his position, their companies run structurally. Not him though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Great point. So I have one last question. I don't know if you want to. Do you have any other questions?
No, I'm enjoying this song.
No, okay. For sure. Yeah.
Indeed. 100 years from now, and I manifest that you live as long as 1,000 years. However, we know what it is. We're all destined to one day return back to the essence.
True.
They're reading your eulogy. In one sentence, what does MP the King, Miguel, what would you like to be remembered as? What would you like to be said at your eulogy?
At my eulogy, that's a tough question. It's gonna be layered though. It's gonna be very layered.
Please.
I would say be a leader and don't be afraid to be a leader because we're in a generation where, obviously there's a lot of followers, there's a lot of leaders. And it's like I told my old boss at the job I used to work at. I was like, listen, a boss has the title, a leader has the people. I remember that. She was looking at me like, what? And mind you, this is my boss, like for the company that I told you I used to work for. I was like, you just got a title. I was like, when I walk out, this whole building gonna walk out. I was like, I'll lead. You ain't the boss. You just the title. That's all you have.
It's amazing when I asked that question to our guests, and thank you for that powerful answer. I realized that the answer that they have, they're already living it.
Yeah.
You're already a man of the people. You're already a leader in the community.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
So
This
is amazing.
And I tell people, the money don't move me, man. I love bringing people's ideas to life. That fulfills me.
Yeah.
Literally, when people be like, yeah, I got a logo, this is what I got, this is the idea. I'm like, all right, bring it to me. And then when I make it happen and they see it and you see that light up, when their eyes light up,
Yeah.
I love that.
And listen, and he's not lying. Like
That I
we were
love.
on texting each other back and forth to like 1 a.m. About logo ideas and shirts and all types of things, and they were all coming from him, so thank you for that.
No, I appreciate it. But again, I'm here for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell people, whatever your idea is, if I can extend it and make it better or help you, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it.
We're here at Raw Success. We adopted Earl Nightingale's definition of success, which is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, my brother. And to us, you are very successful. And I personally got to bear witness of your progress, of your worthy ideal and your manifestation, King.
I appreciate
it.
You.
And I just want to say from brother to brother, man to man, I am very proud of you.
Thank you, man. Trust me, I appreciate it, bro, because we need to hear that more often. I don't really hear that too much. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
To our tribe, our audience, press subscribe. Please share. My man was here dropping jewels. And listen, like we say, we are not no gurus. We are just real men living life. My man has been putting in work. Share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Raw Success. Peace.
Smash that button, baby.
You heard.